everyone, and welcome back to the Colour Cave, where we like to play with art stuff. Today I have for you my Scrawlrbox, so we are going to unbox and we are also going to tackle the Scrawler challenge all in one video because I am alternating between Upcrate and Scrawlrbox for a dedicated art prompt video. So we're just going to get straight into it. And they have the lovely pull tab on these new boxes now, it's good. So Scrawlrbox is the UK's only monthly art subscription box, and every month they send you some surprise goodies to creatively motivate you. There are a few things that come in the box every month, and the first thing is, oh my god, a featured artist. So this is super cute, and the artist is Angelika Schulte. And she is a German illustrator, and there's always a little bit about the artist and also their social media links down the bottom as well, so if you're into their artwork you can go and check out their Instagram. It looks kind of pencil-y and watercolour-y just at a glance. Okay, we always get something to draw on a drawing surface, and we have A5 watercolour paper, woo! And this is Scrawlrbox watercolour paper, 300 GSM, so that's a good quality thickness, and it is cold pressed and there is 8 sheets of it. The texture is very uniform, you know, there is a pattern to it, and the back is different to the front, which again is what I expected. It feels okay, but we'll see how it performs when we have something to put on it. Oh, this is new as well, a Scrawler zine. Oh, and it's telling you, oh goodness me, they've put the paper talk about ruining my fun. We'll look at that in a moment. We have our sticker, which is usually part of the artwork, and in this case they've put some colours over the top of it, but that's really cute, I quite like that. They're still giving us the original list of supplies on the little bookmark, and this also has the Scrawler challenge prompt on it, so we'll look at that in a minute. The other thing that you'll get every month is a sweet, and this is a banana split eclair. I can't think of anything more revolting personally, but everyone has different tastes. I just don't like artificial banana flavoured things. I like bananas though. We have, ooh, Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer watercolour markers. Oh yes, I am all about this. Cadmium yellow and phthalo blue, and they are dual tipped by the looks of things. So let's get a look at these bad boys. So we've got a brush tip, which looks kind of like a normal marker tip, and it doesn't smell of anything, I'm pleased to report. Oh, we have a bullet tip as well. It's a reasonable sized bullet tip, but we can read up more on these in just a moment. Oh my goodness, these are Albrecht Dürer watercolour pencils, emerald green and deep scarlet red. So okay, right, this is just getting better and better. Oh, getting a paintbrush. We have a Pro Art Polar size 6 round paintbrush. I do have other Pro Art brushes and they're quite good, I quite like them. Oh my goodness. And that looks good as well. Oh, this is exciting. And we've got more pencils. Okay, we've got more Albrecht Dürer pencils. We have walnut brown, and we have a Derwent sketching pencil in HB, so your common or garden pencil. Okay, I'm quite curious about this Scrawler zine now. So this is new, and it tells you, oh, this is a sort of visual guide to what's in the box. Okay, that we've pretty much done this bit already. A sit down with our featured artist, so there's like an interview kind of bit and some more of our artwork as well, which is really nice. I really like that. That's cool. Scrawler tips from the artist. Okay, so they're giving you some hints to get you going if it's a supply that you're not familiar with. So I think this is excellent. This is awesome. And they have a gallery of all the images, so people that took part in the challenge. So that's really cool as well, so you can see how other people tackled the Scrawler challenge. Scrawler updates, this is like the newsletter part as well, so they're talking about their boxes and being eco-friendly here. So there's quite a lot of information in that. I'm impressed. I like this. This is a great idea. Recently I did look at the Artful box, which is a quarterly box, and it came with a magazine as well, and I just felt that the magazine, there was more money spent on that than was on the actual art supplies. This is like a kind of diet version of that, and it's all very relevant and very nice. I think you've done an excellent job, and I would award 10 cave points to Scrawlrbox for this, so that is awesome. Okay, let's talk about the supplies in a little bit more depth, and then we're going to have a look at the prompt and see what we can create. This month's box is all about watercolours, but in the usual sense. I would say that's not in the usual sense. We are not including any tubes or pans of watercolour, but something a little different. Yes, okay, we know this. So the watercolour markers, which I've never used, by the way, this is new to me. They're highly pigmented with a light fast water-based ink, so that's good to know they are light fast. It's just saying that it can be used with the normal watercolour techniques like hatching, glazing, granulation, colour spritzing. And it keeps saying that they're water soluble. If they're watercolour, obviously they're going to be water soluble. The watercolour pencils, these are what I call the jumbo versions. They're like the thick versions. Apart from that, I think they're the same. I'm going to go and get a standard one just so that you can see the difference in the diameter of them, you know, actually side by side. Yeah, so just really quickly, let's see if I can get the one in the same colour. Deep Scarlet Red, that's what we're looking for. So there is a standard Albrecht Dürer pencil, and here is the chunky one. So there is a marked difference in the diameter of the barrel. What that means generally is you've got better grips, especially see for someone like me that's got a dodgy hand. I had an operation on my hand years ago and I've been left with a lot of nerve damage. This is really good on people that have grip problems because you don't have to grip as tightly because you've got a bigger diameter. The core would be sturdier, I would imagine, just because it's thicker, although I have to say I've never had any breakage problems with the Albrecht Dürers myself. And if you use the side of the core, and you know, like at a 45-degree angle to the paper, you are going to be able to cover a slightly larger area. But other than that, I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same. But they do look pretty chunky. That is what I would define as a chunky monkey. Okay, so what are we saying to this then? The satisfyingly chunky barrel. Okay. Enables hours of fatigue-free usage. They're enriched with high-quality materials, which are combined with Faber-Castell's experience and expertise in art supplies. The coloured pigmented coloration can also be transformed with a bit of water. I wish they'd like get a grip of these descriptions. We know that you have to use water with them. It's a watercolour pencil, and the grammar and so on and so forth. I just have a bit of a bugbear about stuff like that. So a lot of this information could be, you know, it's a lot of filler and not really an awful lot of interesting information. The paintbrush from Pro Art, it's ideal for use with all types of water-based paint, producing soft to clean paint applications with its fine and delicate tip. It does have a very delicate tip, and sometimes I actually struggle with that, you know, when the point is quite long, but we'll see how we get on with that. That's probably just my poor painting skills. The densely packed white nylon fibre, so it's a nylon tip brush, retain water and pigment incredibly well for all of your watercolour needs. Sketching pencil, it's an HB pencil. I like the Derwent sketching pencils. It's a brand that I use all the time. I go through quite a lot of them. The Scrawlrbox paper, woohoo! Watercolour pad has been created especially for this month's box, well, we gathered that, and provides the perfect surface for all your masterful watercolour designs. Now see, this is good. With enough sheets to test out the supplies and create an artwork or two every week until your next box arrives. That is what I'm talking about. Now you're thinking. Okay, and finally we have our Scrawler challenge, which is Daydreamer. I think we can do quite a lot with that. So we're going to skip now and just swatch these out first just to see what we're dealing with. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit so we can see what's going on. First of all, I'm going to start with these markers because why not? Now I'm figuring there's a few ways that we can do this. First of all, here is the blue marker, and that is the brush nib, and we have the bullet nib as well. Oh my goodness, look at this. Oh, that's just marvellous. That just dissolves beautifully, absolutely beautifully. And you can actually, I want to see if I can get rid of these lines completely. And the answer to that is almost yes. Not quite yes, but almost yes. You can just see like a ghost of what was there originally. The other thing I'm pretty sure you can do, I'm just having to dig under a pile of art supplies to get to things. I have a palette here. I'm pretty sure we can do like I would do with Copic markers and like I would do with Copic markers and Surgical Spirit. I'm pretty sure we can water this down and have like more of a wash, or at least a much paler version of what we've got. I'm going to use the I really kind of grudge like tainting this paintbrush. I've got my trusty Milan 6 round, which I think this actually came in a Scrawlrbox as well. So let's pick this up. Yeah, so you can get like a normal, more traditional wash by just diluting it down elsewhere. So if you put it directly onto the paper, you are going to get action lines or marks, whereas if you want to use it for wishy-washy purposes, then you can do so. I wonder what happens if you add more marker when it's wet on the paper. I wonder if anything happens. Oh, it is moving about. Okay, that's interesting as well. Ooh, look. Okay, so any application of the marker is going to result in a mark, which is fine. You kind of hope that that would happen, but you just never know with these things. So let's go with the yellow one as well, because this looks like fun. I'm having great fun already. We've not done anything yet. Ooh, I do like a good bit of yellow as well. Just making sure the tip of this water brush is clean before I start messing about here. Okay, yep. And I'll make the assumption that the same thing can be done with the yellow. Now, if we put the markers, I'm going to use the brush tip end. If we put these markers side by side, like this, can we mix them together and make green? This is my next question. Oh yeah! Oh, look at this! Oh, that is so nice. These are lovely. I like these. I am ridiculously familiar with the Albrecht Dürer pencils because I have a full set of them, and the laydown is really consistent in these pencils. And the two main ways that I would use them is straight onto the paper, and if I wanted a wash effect, I would try and have a reasonably even layer of pencil down on the paper and then go over it with water. Or the other thing you can do, and I tend to use a water brush for it, is to like dab the end of the pencil with my water brush, and that use that for finer details. The other thing that I've heard, I haven't done it, but the other thing you can do is actually dip the pencil in the water, like in a water pot. I don't know how keen I would be to do that on a regular basis with my watercolour pencils, however, in the interest of testing out. Okay, so there you go, that's the straight application, and you can see that when you add water, all the textured lines of the pencil just disappear. They just no longer exist, which is lovely. This can be reactivated as well, which is good if you want to lift some of the colour or move things about a bit. So I'm going to try this. So I've got my pot of water here. I'm gonna be brave, and I'm gonna dip the pencil, and I'm gonna try and make sure it's just the core and not the casing, the wooden casing. Okay, I have a wet pencil tip. Oh wowee. Okay, that just gives you like a really bold and rich line. So that actually might be quite good for line work then. So here's your other colours. This is a really nice red. This is like my go-to red, I would say. And the more pencil that you lay down, the more intense it's going to be when you add water to it. Right, like practically nothing. I might as well do the walnut. And incidentally, walnut brown's a kind of go-to Faber-Castell colour for me as well. Right, I suppose we better test this paintbrush out. I'm sorry, it feels quite, oh, that brush feels quite nice. The bristles feel very, very soft compared to what I'm used to. Yeah, I don't know how much of a fan of this very long sort of point on the end of the brush. I suppose I can get used to it. It's maybe just because I'm not used to it, but a lot of the time I find that these are a hindrance rather than a help. But it's, you know, we can work with it. We have plenty of variety, but we also have the option of mixing pencils as well. Now I wonder what happens when we layer pencil with marker. Let's try it with the red one. Now I may have to wipe off the tip of my marker after that. Oh look, it's giving me orange. That's not really done a huge amount there. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we've kind of got an orange. Let's see what happens over here. Oh, this is just a big old mess. That is interesting. It's actually favouring the pencil rather than the marker, and I don't know whether it's because of the difference in colours or whether it's just because the pencil has, you know, the pencil sits on top of the paper more than the ink. I don't know. Okay, that's given me a slightly orangey colour. So you can mix the pencil and the markers as well, which is pretty cool. Let's just test out the HB pencil. The only thing about this pencil is that the Derwent ones are round. So if you don't like a round pencil, then then yeah, just don't. But in terms of actually being a pencil that is useful, it's an HB pencil, it is going to be useful. It has a wee bit of smudgy property, but not much. Again, that's kind of normal for the grade of pencil. And they do have a slightly thicker barrel and a slightly thicker core than a standard pencil. And that just helps with the core stability, you know, helps stop breakage and things, and you know, having to do a lot of sharpening and basically munching through most of your pencil. So I am delighted with this month's Scrawlrbox. I really am. I think this is an excellent box, and I am looking forward to playing about with these and trying to make a picture with them. So we shall tidy this lot up and we'll get on with the prompt. So we're going to jump into Ye Olde Sketchbook. I'm going to leave this here just to sort of remind me what colours we have available, and we'll have a think about what we can do. So when I think of daydream, I think the first thing that I think of is like an animal, like maybe lying basking in the sun, and cats do that quite often. So you know, we could have, let's do a little thumbnail. Sitting on, so maybe at a window. You could have a window there, and the sun could be coming in through the window, and you could get some nice highlights, you know, on the ears, and maybe have some cushions. I quite like that idea. We could have some trees, because I do like trees, and we've got the green pencil, but we've also got this ability to mix the markers to make green as well, and we've got the walnut brown as well, so we could incorporate that into some, you know, into the trunk maybe. And have this, I like this idea of having the sun and having the highlights hitting off, you know, the animal as it sort of basks during the day. Or if we wanted to stick with the tree theme, one of the things I do like to draw quite often, and I have no idea why, is orangutans. Yeah, so maybe we've got the trunk of the tree on this side. And yeah, then he could, that means he could be leaning his head. And he's going to have a hairdo, because all of my orangutans always have hairdos. Maybe we could have another branch here, and he could be hanging on with this leg. I'd have to get a fair bit of snorting and foreshortening going on there. And we could have some sunlight in the background, and again we could go for this nice yellow, you know, like just catch the tops of things. Yeah, I think I quite like this idea. I think this is what I'm going to go for. So I'm just taking the paint off the pencil here with a wet brush, and I'm really sort of using this as almost like an outline, you know, like a fine liner type thing, but I just want to get some of these branches on the go. We'll maybe have a really light line here. Okay, so I'm going to lay down some of this pencil, and what I want to do is, I don't want to put this straight onto the paper because it is really vibrant. You know, the markers are, you know, they're pretty concentrated. So I'm just going to bring this little palette over, and a bit like I did with the blue when I was testing the product out, I'm just going to stick the yellow in here. And I just want to pop a little bit of this down here. So we'll maybe start to put some leaves down in here. And if I vary my pencil pressure a wee bit and build up some more layers on some of the leaves, that's going to give us different intensities as well. And this is going to be quite dark under here as well, so we want to get quite a defined line. I just want to give the impression that there's more greenery around, but I don't really want it to be a huge part of the picture. And I'm going to pop in, well, the sun's going to be coming from in behind here somewhere, so let's pop it in there and make it a little bit more obvious. I maybe want a little bit more red in there. Not too much though. So I'm just adding a little bit of definition into some of these parts of the tree. And once this is dry, we can start doing a little bit more. So I'll do his other leg just now. And this is just really like, you know, like a base coat of colour for the time being. But the good thing is we can tweak it as we go. I'll take some more of this yellow. So I'm thinking he's maybe got a little bit of the old, you know, frilly arm hair going on. Now we've got his little feet here. with his little curled over toe. I'm going to be brave here and I'm actually just going to use the marker neat for the highlights. I can't really do this bit yet, it's not dry enough. This one's dry. I'm going to bring this up under now. And maybe he's going to have, this is going down his arm, which is going to be in around there somewhere. So then we want the outline of this branch coming down now as well. It looks very content and peaceful so far. I'm really enjoying this paintbrush. I'm liking it quite a lot. I'll try and mix this a little bit at the edge. His tummy makes me laugh for some reason. Got most of the base colours in now. Not quite at the detail stage, but just because we've got really limited colours here, I'm really building up some layers. So we've started on some leaves up here now as well. I have used a little bit of the blue just for a bit more of a shadow. And I mean, it's layering really well without disturbing the layer underneath too much, which is quite nice as well. I do need to have a little bit more. This needs to be darker as well. Again, I might use a little bit of the blue there just to... It's more about creating contrast than necessarily using the right colours. Now I want to do his, kind of like his muzzle and his face very similar to his belly. You know, I want it to match his belly. So I want like a tiny bit of red, but literally like a tiny amount here. We can spread it around, work it in a little bit, and then we really want this part here to be matching the skin on his chest and his hands. And if I just move this up slightly, I've got his little hand down here to deal with too. I can get that in now that this is a bit drier. I think what I'll do is I'll maybe put a base layer of this brown down, which is going to be our tree trunk in behind first. Just want to do this side of his face. And the cave is a busy place today. There's noise coming from everywhere and I apologise for that. Just add a bit of this blue on top here, just to give a little bit of a shadow in there. Oh, I have no idea why this tickles me so much, but it really does. Looks like he's wearing a wig. That's quite funny. That's tickled me. That's tickled me considerably. Okay, I'm going to turn him slightly because I want to put in some of his facial features and I'm going to do it in graphite, so because we need to get his little nostrils on the go here. Otherwise he doesn't really have a nose. They do have like these brows that come round. Like their brows are quite prominent, obviously being ape-like. And maybe get some definition down around his ears as well here. Like, never underestimate the value of an HB pencil, because when you're doing stuff like this, it's, you know, it gives you the opportunity to really just tidy things up a little bit and make it that wee bit more crisp. And I think what I'll do in here is I'm just going to intensify my sun a little bit. And I'll just, again, just with some water, like clean water on my brush, just make that a little bit more obvious, I think. So I don't know what he's daydreaming about. Maybe he's daydreaming about what he's going to have for dinner. That kind of thing. I don't know. But the other thing as well is I've just noticed the shadow that is casting is actually going to come this way because the sun's coming from this direction. So I'm going to pop a wee bit more of that blue in just to make it a bit more accurate. Let's say accurate. I don't think you can call this painting accurate. This is by no means something that I am particularly pleased with, but yeah, I think this Scrawler challenge could have gone a lot worse. I am finding it more challenging now, though. You know, when I'm doing them straight after I've unboxed the box, I find this very, very difficult, and I think that's probably a thing that will get easier with experience and time. But I definitely find this an extra challenge. You know, normally if you're doing prompts and things, you have a look at a prompt and you'll take some time to like digest it and decide what you're going to do. And pushing myself a little bit more to do this while, you know, while the camera's rolling, and just go with the first couple of ideas and not really plan it out. I think the danger with that is you can do yourself a disservice, but at the same time it's good for you because you're pushing yourself to think on your feet. And while you might not produce the best artwork you're ever going to do, it really helps to push you on a bit in your decision making and that sort of thing. So I think there's two sides to it. But if I'm doing them like this straight after I've unboxed a subscription box, I'm not going to expect an absolutely outstanding, you know, high quality art piece, especially with the time limitations of filming as well. So, you know, I think there's definitely an upside and a downside to doing something like that. I think I'm going to call it quits there. I don't really want to start doing too much more to them because I think you can kind of ruin things for yourself. You know, there is a point. And I find it more with painting than drawing, but there's a point where you have to sort of cut yourself off and say, right, enough's enough. And I think I'm kind of nearing that point now. She says as she's still got her brush in her hand and keeps adding things in everywhere. So there you go, there is my daydreaming orangutan. I think I'll need to give him a name. If you would like to suggest a name for him, I would greatly appreciate that. You can drop it down in the comments along with any opinions you have about the contents of the box. And all that's left to do is thank you very much for joining me. I've actually quite enjoyed myself. This is like a great set of supplies, and it's nice to have something new as well because I've never used these watercolour markers and they're really good. I like them a lot. So that's a definite thumbs up from me for this Scrawlrbox. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and we'll see you back in the cave for another video real soon. Bye for now.